in abundance is the idea here. God is going to take care of His people. Make Christ and the things of His kingdom a priority, and God will take care of the rest. He's got your back. Now I'm going to share an illustration here, and I want to be very, very careful in this illustration that I don't draw too much attention to myself and that I don't draw too much attention to any kind of idea that salvation is by works, because this is not what the passage is teaching. But not long after embracing Christ by faith, I joined, and Lynn joined not too long after that, the Central Baptist Church in Martin, Tennessee. And the pastor of that church, and many of the fine Christians that were in that church, they stressed by teaching an example the importance of disciplines in the Christian life. And I'm afraid that we are getting away from these things. Now again, I stress, you don't do these things in order to be saved. You do these things because you are saved. You do this out of appreciation and gratitude for grace received. But nonetheless, sanctification, it is a growing process. And if we don't have disciplines in our life to foster that, we can easily fall to the wayside in matters of faith. And there were several disciplines that was stressed in that church. First of all, daily Bible reading and prayer, or at least very regular Bible reading and prayer. That got driven into us. I mean, at college I was studying biochemistry and physics and all this sort of stuff that, by the way, required a lot of discipline to learn them. And then I was going to church on Sunday and having a pastor preaching salvation by grace through faith, but saying in the Christian life you've got to be a Bible reader if you're going to be strong. And now you wonder why I emphasize it. I got it early on. I got it through reading the Bible myself. But that was one of the disciplines that they emphasized. 2, faithful church attendance on the Lord's Day and the use of the corporate means of grace. When we worship on Sunday, you need to be here unless you're providentially hindered. And I believe the Lord honors that and He blesses that in our lives. Sometimes you wake up on Sunday morning and this is the last place you want to be, right? Sometimes I wake up on Sunday morning and this is the last place I want to be. I'm a man and I struggle with my sin and my attitudes. But incorporating into our lives as Christians in pursuing the Lord, Bible reading, faithful church attendance. Number 3, the consistent, responsible giving to the Lord's work, that is, tithes and offerings, the third thing that was emphasized at that church. 4th, the reading of good Christian literature. And then finally, spiritual leadership in the family. Dad, husband, sorry. If you are in that role, you are the leader in your home spiritually. You are the head of your household. And your family will follow your example for good or for ill. Now again, I stress again, these 5 things, they won't get you into the kingdom. They won't earn your favor before God. We should do these things out of appreciation, out of gratitude, of realizing that we live in a fallen world, a tough world. And if you think you can make it in this world by being a spiritual infant, you cannot. You just can't. That was about 40 years ago next year. Now, I may fall off the wagon tomorrow, and I will fall off the wagon tomorrow, save the grace of God. But my testimony, 40 years later, is Psalm 37, verses 23 through 25. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way, though he fall. Now, there's going to be falls, and sometimes some bad falls. But though he fall, he shall not be cast headlong.